Good evening, everybody. My name is Satyam Jain, and today we have gathered in SFG 2023 mains group to have a session of sociology. Specifically, we'll be dealing with sociology paper 1 in this particular session. We can have a paper 2 session once again. And if you have some doubts regarding paper 2, Animesh sir is here to handle that as well. Lekin majorly we'll be focusing upon the paper 1 in this particular session. We have Animesh with us who secured a whopping 147 in paper 1 in the recently concluded mains of 2022, and he'll be sharing his strategy, he'll be sharing everything with you. So, and at the end, if you have some good important doubts, only then we'll be allowing you to ask some of them in a gradual manner. So I'll hand it over to Animesh. Animesh, you can just switch your mic on and take over the session.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir, you
Thank
are
you, sir.
audible. Sure.
Okay. So basically, we will be first dealing with the sociology paper one. So first, we will be dealing with the peripheral things like what are the resources, which test series to join, and how much time to dedicate to sociology, especially paper one and paper two. So let's get started. So for those, okay, first let me tell you something. Some of you might have done some courses somewhere. All right, so you might have some your own way of writing and presenting things, your own strategy. So pick up only the good things that you like. Like for example, I'll be telling you about how to approach the paper, how to choose the questions. So you can pick up anything that you feel that okay, that might work for me, and then you can use it in your own strategy. All right, so no need to copy paste or something like that. Just pick up only the relevant things. So first thing is resources. So for those who have done some coaching or those who have referred to some coaching materials, use primarily your coaching notes as the primary source. All right. So I have listed down some of the resources over here. So you need to just refer to two resources. Okay. So refer one resource as your primary resource and the other as secondary resource. All right. So for those who have done some coaching somewhere, use your coaching notes. All right. And for those who have not done any coaching or something like that, you can refer to Essential Sociology, that is by Nitin Sangwan sir. All right. And yeah, do refer to Tusharansu sir's notes because he has referred to many of the thinkers in his notes. And what he has done is he has actually referred to IGNU notes, he has referred to Upendra Gaur sir's notes, Mahapatra sir's notes, and he has done some Google search also. So I will suggest you to use his notes as secondary notes because his notes are in point form. And if you are going to understand something from his notes, then it will be very difficult for you to understand that. All right. So instead of using Tusaransu sir notes as primary notes, use it as secondary notes. And you can use Harlombus selectively. I have mentioned the pages here. So you can refer to this. And in addition to this, if you are having some doubts in some topics, then you can refer to IGNU notes. So there is a website called Reliable and Valid. You can just Google it, and then you will be directed to their page. And there they have separated IGNU notes, especially for paper one for and paper two. So you can refer to those IGNU notes only for understanding something that you are not able to understand. All right. And yes, and if you have done this essential sociology once, so just pick up the PYQ, see what type of questions are being asked, and refer to essential sociology and Tushar Answer notes. No need to go again to IGNU notes or Harlombus. मतलब अलग से नहीं जाने की कोई जरूरत है क्योंकि what essential sociology does is here you have the book is written from taking IGNU notes only. All right, so no need to go back to IGNU notes or something like that. And one more thing, if you are having trouble in understanding any of the topic, like Talcott Parson is very difficult to understand, so you can refer to Sleepy Classes videos also. Those are available for free on YouTube. So this was all about resources. And if you have any other resource, you can use it. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to revert to only these notes only. Okay, so one more thing, and there might be some students who have just cracked prelims and they are in dilemma that they have not prepared sociology very well, and they want to know that which resource is best. So what I'll suggest is you can go with essential sociology and pick up PYQ, previous year questions, refer to the previous year questions like what type of questions are asked from which unit, and then refer to essential sociology. Once you are done with essential sociology and PYQ part, then refer to Tushanshu sir in the last 1 month for addition, like 1 2 thinkers, and that's all. You are done. Now coming to next thing, which test series to join? So I personally joined Vikas Ranjan sir's Triumph IS test series last year, and other test series which are available in market are Praveen Kishore sir's Gurukul IS and Vision Smriti ma'am and Vajiram and Ravi. So these are some good test series. Other than this, there are many test series, but what I came to know, only I have written that only. So I'll tell you some good things about these test series. See, Vikranjan's test series, the search test series is that it is really good. What happens is, sir check the copies. All right. So what happens that your copies will be evaluated in minimum 10 to 12 days. If you write the test on that date, the test is to be written. But if you delay the test, like suppose your test was to be written today and you delay it because you are not prepared for it and you write the test after 10-15 days. So your copy evaluation might be delayed by 15 to 20 days. So that is the only drawback with Vikas Sir's test series. Uh, in Vision test series, the model answers are really good. So once you are done with syllabus, the PYQ, the basic reading, if find Vision test series somewhere, do go through the model answers. All right, so I think that was all for test series. And now I'll take up some previous year questions and I'll show you that why previous year questions are more important as compared to doing test series. All right, so let's see the first unit here. See, this question was asked in 2022. What aspects of enlightenment do you think paved the way for the emergence of sociology? All right. Now see 2022, 2020 questions. How did intellectual forces led to emergence of sociology? Now the intellectual forces are nothing but enlightenment. All right. So the same question is repeated in 2022. Now see 2019 question. Discuss the historical antecedents of the emergence of sociology. It is asking the same question. How did sociology emerge? What was the historical underpinnings that led to emergence of sociology? All right. So you need to go through that enlightenment and then the same thing, Renaissance, Enlightenment, Scientific Revolution, Industrial Revolution, and that led to sociology. Now, see, 2017 question. Explain how sociology has emerged as a distinct discipline based on rationality and the scientific temper. Again, Enlightenment, rationality, scientific temper, scientific revolution, industrial revolution. The question is being uh, asked on the same theme, but it is paraphrased. All right. So doing previous year questions is very much important rather than going into a series and then mugging up their model answers. Do that, but only after once you are done with PYQ. Now see, I'll take you to Emile Durkheim's chapter. So here you can see, compare Karl Marx and, okay, I'll take the recent one. Critically examine the relevance of Durkheim's view on religion in contemporary society. So this is asking about Durkheim's view on religion. All right. See now, the question in all right. See the questions in 2022 are covering Durkheim's all the aspect. All right. So Durkheim chapter comprises of division of labor, social facts, suicide, and religion and society. So 2022 question asked about religion, then it asked about anomy, then it asked about social fact. All right. So please do the thinkers properly. All right. Uh, see now this 2018 question. In what way did Durkheim perceive a religion as functional to society? So they are asking the same questions again and again, again and again, and just paraphrasing it, just connecting it to some other topic. So it is essential that you have the basics with you. You need not run after multiple resources. Just do one resource and do it really well, so that if any question comes from that resource, you are able to write it. So just remember, PYQ is more important than test series. All right. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to emphasize before going to approach of the questions. I have not mentioned it here. So actually what happens is for those who have done coaching, they might be knowing that in coaching they are telling that kindly ignore unit 3. All right. Unit 3 is about research analysis, right? Because it is a technical topic, so people usually ignore it. But what UPSC is doing is they are asking questions from Unit 3 repeatedly in every part. Like you cannot just leave it and go. I'll show you just one minute. See, this is 2022 paper, all right, Sociology 2022 paper. Now see, question number 1B. How does a researcher achieve objectivity in interpretative research? Unit 3 question. All right. Difference between information and data in social science. Unit 3 question. All right. Now, question number 2. Explain the different types of non-probability sampling techniques. Again, Unit 3 question. Then 3A, part 3. Suggest measures to minimize the influence of researcher in process of collecting data through process group discussion. So you cannot just ignore Unit 3 and just leave it. All right. So it is my humble request that please do not leave Unit 3. And for Unit 3, what I will suggest you is pick up Essential Sociology, that is Nitin Sangwan sir book, and just make one-page note, like what is qualitative analysis, what is quantitative analysis, what is hypothesis, what is observation, what is questionnaire, what is sampling, what is variable. Just make one-page note in 250 words, and you are done with that. You just go through the notes once, and you will be sorted out. What actually I did was, before 2022 mains, I had not done the Unit 3, and but after the GS papers, I just went through my notes, whatever coaching notes I had. So I just went through those notes, and I just did it from like just to get through it. So in the paper, when I saw the questions that Unit 3 is covered in every question, so I was a little scared. Like I had written just general answer, so I was not expecting very good marks. So I do not want that to happen with like you. So please do that Unit 3 properly. And also Unit 1, that comparison of sociology with other subjects like sociology and psychology, sociology and anthropology, sociology and other subjects, history, economics. So please make one-page note for that also, because that part is also being covered by UPSC in recent papers. All right. So I know that the rest of the topics you might have covered, but these topics hardly anyone sees. So please cover them. Okay. So next is how to approach. Okay, I have shown you that PYQs are more important than test series. What test series are doing, that they are just paraphrasing the PYQs and they are presenting you. The only thing that you'll be doing test series is evaluation. All right. So if you are confident enough that okay, I'll be covering all the things from my PYQ, no need to go for test series. All right. Now, how to approach questions. All right. So see, what many of us does is, whatever the question is asking, we do not answer that, and we just write down what we think will make our answers good, looking good. All right. So let's talk about this question. What aspects of enlightenment do you think paved way for an emergence of sociology? Elaborate. All right. So this is 2022 question I have shown you over here. What aspects of enlightenment do you think paved way for emergence of sociology? See, in every question there is some keywords. All right. In this question, what are the keywords? It is enlightenment and it is sociology. Okay. तो
अनिमेश
the
जस्ट एक सेकंड, सॉरी सॉरी
हाँ
सॉरी फॉर डिस्टर्ब।
हाँ
प्लीज कोई कंफर्म कर देगा क्या, लाइक अनिमेश की आवाज और वीडियो क्लियर है ना? कैन समबडी जस्ट कंफर्म
Yes, it is clear. It's pretty clear.
द वीडियो एज वेल?
Yes, yes.
थैंक यू मच। प्लीज सॉरी अनिमेश, मुझे कोई मैसेज आ
okay
सकती है नहीं, इसलिए वो जस्ट कंफर्म। सॉरी सॉरी सॉरी
okay
फॉर
okay
द प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
हाँ कोई नहीं। तो इसमें this question is asking about enlightenment and sociology. All right. So there are two keywords over here: enlightenment and sociology. Now, what many of us does is we write what we know. So in this question, many of us will go about like how enlightenment came and how sociology came, and we'll just do whatever we think like. But here, the question is asking what aspects of enlightenment do you think led to sociology? That's simple. All right. So in the introduction part, simply introduce enlightenment. All right. what is enlightenment and what is sociology. And no need to think that your introduction will be big, you cannot write two definition in one introduction or something like that. If the question is asking about two things, you need to introduce those two things in the questions. All right, so first, tell us about what is enlightenment. So in 18th century, Europe was having a major changes. So it was mass production, factory-based system, industrial revolution was happening, and which was based on French Revolution and commercial revolution. All right, so this led to rational thinking, change in idea, questioning religious dogmas, questioning church, and this phase was known as enlightenment. All right, so you mentioned it. You can make your own definition. You can mug up definition from any sociological dictionary. No, I'm not forcing you to do anything uh, particular. Just make definitions of important things like what is social fact, what is social action, what is social system, what is bureaucracy, what is society according to Durkheim, what is religion according to Durkheim, what is gender according to Talcott Parson, what is AGIL approach. So make definitions for each of the things. Whenever you are asked about any topic, just mention the definition. Now, the next thing you need to do is mention about sociology. What is sociology? Sociology is basically the study of human beings, human action, society, social behavior, social structure, and that you are done with introduction. No need to go for fancy introduction. No need to just make yourself very much confusing about what to write in introduction. All right, just go with the definition and you are sorted out. The next thing is asking how enlightenment led to sociology. So you need to mention a brief thing about what was before enlightenment. So it was dark age. Church was like it was in every field. So what enlightenment does was, so you can mention about commercial revolution. Commercial revolution came. So commercial revolution led to people going out, colonization start, new institution like bank came. So sociologists wanted to study how these institutions, new middle class came. So how this middle class is affecting the society. So that led to emergence of sociology. All right. Now I mentioned about scientific revolution. Scientific revolution questioned the religious dogmas. So like Copernicus, geocentric theory. Was Copernicus questioned the geocentric theory, and he propounded heliocentric theory, and dissection of body was allowed. So this led to a sociologist like Spencer, who brought organic theory like positivism in understanding sociology. All right. So then you can mention about industrial revolution. Industrial revolution happened, factory system came, so poverty happened. So sociologist wanted to understand how this factory-based system is leading to change in society, how this is changing the interaction between people. So this is how sociology emerged. So mention about the events, mention about the consequences, how this thing changed the society, and how it is leading to sociology. And then you can just conclude with like saying that it led to one sociology, and then you are sorted out. All right. So in every question, try to mention one, two thinkers, not one, two, like three, four. All right. So this was about the enlightenment and sociology. Now let us go to how are hierarchy and exclusion the major impediments in the transformation of society. Now let us suppose that you have read this topic, but you do not know any thinker in this. So how to go about this? So in introduction, as I said, you can mention about what is hierarchy, what is exclusion, and then move on to body. All right. So now if you do not know any thinker in any question, so you need to bring the perspective. So just remember, you need not write your perspective. You should write sociological perspective. The only thing that separates sociological answer with a GS answer is that in GS answer you write what you think, but in sociology answer you need to write what sociologist thinks, what positivism thinks, what is Marxism thinking, what is functionalism thinking, what is feminism thinking, what is subaltern perspective, and then you need to bring in perspective. All right. So the question is asking how are hierarchy and exclusion the major impediments in the transformation of society. So you can bring in Marxian perspective. You do not know who has given a perspective or not. So you just need to write Marxian perspective, and then you can mention that Marxian perspective thinks that workers are excluded. This leads to alienation, and alienation has resulted into religion being used as a tool for opium for masses. All right, bring in functionalism perspective. So hierarchy and exclusion is necessary according to functionalists because some posts are important than the other. So that's why hierarchy is important. Bring in like Talcott Parsons AGIL perspective. Bring in R.K. Merton that perspective. Retreatist perspective. All right. So bring in every perspective. If you tell that Merton's latent and manifest function, like manifest function is hierarchy and exclusion leads to social inequality. What is latent function? Latent function is like poverty. All right, you can mention about Oxfam report in that R.K. Merton's theory. So you need to bring in perspective. Just remember, you should not be writing general answer, and that's how you should be choosing the question. And that brings us to the next topic: how to choose the right questions in exam. All right. So first thing, try to pick theory-based question, like those theory that you have read in the subject. Like if the question is asking Durkheim's perspective, then you should be choosing that question. Let me show you. All right, so this is the paper. So like see the second question. Now, 1 and 5 are compulsory, so I will not be telling about that. But let's see the second question. So question is, what aspect of enlightenment do you think paved the way for emergence of sociology? This is core theory based question. Now if you have done sociology, you should not be missing this question. All right. Now the second question is, explain the different type of non-probability sampling technique. All right. So after doing third unit, this is very easy question. Right. The third part is discuss social mobility and in open and closed system. Again, this is a 10 marker question, and if you know the two question like 20 marker, it you should be attempting this part. All right. See this 20 marker enlightenment question and 20 mark non-probability sampling techniques. These two are really easy questions. In fact, if you do not know something about social mobility in open and closed system, you should be going for this question. All right, because you can make answers for social mobility in open and closed system. So a closed system is that do not allow social mobility. All right, the caste system in India that does not allow mobility, but open system is something which allows mobility. So the recent merit-based selection procedure that allows social mobility. So you can mention about these things, and you can make answers for open and closed system by bringing in perspective of Marxian perspective, functionalist perspective, and other things. All right. Now see the third part. What are the shortfalls of positive philosophy that gave rise to non-positive method of studying social reality? Again, a theory-based question. Critically examine how Durkheim and Merton explicate anomy. So this is simply asking Durkheim's perspective of anomy and Merton's perspective of anomy. So this is again a theory-based question, and suggest measures to minimize the influence of researcher in the again a theory-based question. Now let's go to section B. In section B, you will be getting general GS type questions. So just be careful in choosing these questions. All right. So let's see. Uh, Okay, let's see this question. Critically analyze Parsons' view on society as a social system. So this is asking about Parsons' social system. So this is basically a theory-based question. But see the second part. Discuss how environmentalism can be explained with new social movement approach. So this is an applied question. You need to apply your theoretical perspective in this. So it can be difficult for someone. So that's why I'm asking you that if you have read sociology properly, then go for the this theory-based question. I hope I'm clear over here. Now, this second part focus on giving sociological perspective, or third part, right according to word limit. Do not cross the word limit. That's what I'm saying, that if you prepare PYQs properly in 250 words, you will be sorted for paper one. Paper one just brings in the theory based question. Paper two has mainly applied questions. So that becomes a bit difficult. In paper one, you can easily score 130, 140 plus. All right. So one more thing, try to bring in Indian perspective. So in paper two talks about Indian perspective. So you can gain Indian perspective once you are confident that I am able to bring in theoretical perspective of the six thinkers that is given in the part one. If you are confident enough, like if any general question come, I'll bring in the perspective of Merton, I'll bring in the perspective of Parsons, I'll bring in the perspective of G.H. Mead or Weber or Marx or Durkheim. Then you are sorted out. Then you can bring in the perspective of Indian thinkers as well. Ghurier, I.P. Desai, Srinivas, and Louis Dumont. so you can bring in the perspective of those thinkers as well to make your answers holistic. Like if you bring in Indian perspective, the examiner will come to understand that you have understand the subject really well, so that you are able to link paper 1 and paper 2. But this can only happen once you are comfortable in bringing the perspective in general answers, like I have explained before. So this was general strategy. Now just one thing I want to share. Like I said that I was not ready for the unit 3. I had read it only once. So I wrote general answers in unit 3 questions. So what happened was I was a bit scared, and I was anxious in paper 2. So there was a guy sitting next to me, and he said that write general answers in paper 2 because you cannot bring in the perspective here. You should be bringing in more dimensions. So I thought that, and he said that he had given 3 mains. So I was a bit anxious. So I wrote according to what he said. Like I brought in 10, 6, 7 dimensions, and did not mention any theoretical perspective. And that costed me the paper 2. So just remember, you have to write sociological perspective in every question. You should not be writing your perspective. Okay, and be confident. If you have read the subject once before prelims, you will be sorted out easily. All right, and go with confidence. You should be entering the exam hall with so much confidence that you eliminate 3, 4 candidates there and then there only. All right, so this was all about the paper 1. So I'll conclude here. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.
हेलो।
Yes, yes, please tell.
डाउट? हाँ सर, पूछ सकता हूँ क्या?
हाँ, बोलो बोलो।
सर पेपर में काफी बार प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन देखे तो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं जो थोड़े सिलेबस से बाहर जैसे लगते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल एक क्वेश्चन आया था, सोशियोलॉजिकल इमेजिनेशन इनेबल्स अस टू ग्रास्प हिस्ट्री एंड बायोग्राफी एंड द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द टू इन सोसाइटी, CW मिल्स एक्सप्लेन। तो ऐसे जो PYQ आते हैं वो अगर रिपीट होते हैं तो उसके लिए हमें नोट्स कैसे बनाने चाहिए, और बनाए या ना बनाए, पहला तो क्वेश्चन ये है। और नोट्स बनाए तो फिर कहाँ से बनाए, क्योंकि पिछले साल में तो शायद हम एलिमिनेट कर दे कुछ क्वेश्चन कि हमको ना लिखने पड़े ऐसे क्वेश्चन इस तरीके से, पर अगर वही क्वेश्चन पूछ ले यूपीएससी वापस और हमको लिखना पड़े तो हम कैसे उसको अटेंड करेंगे?
देखो क्या होता है ना कि जैसे पिछले साल मेरे को याद है पेपर 2 में एक क्वेश्चन आया था लीला दुबे का, और वो क्वेश्चन एक्चुअली एंथ्रोपोलॉजी का क्वेश्चन है, और मतलब उसको उसने थोड़ा सा सोशियोलॉजी से जोड़ दिया था। तो वो क्वेश्चन किसी को नहीं आता था, और वो क्वेश्चन कंपल्सरीली वाले पार्ट में दिया था, पेपर 2 में फर्स्ट पार्ट में दिया था। तो उस वैसे क्वेश्चन जो होते हैं ना, उसको अगर तुम जैसे तुम्हारे पेपर में आया तो उस इट इज बेटर टू लीव देम। ओके, अगर वो ऐसे पार्ट में आए जहाँ पे ऑप्शन हैं तुम्हारे पास छोड़ने के, तो उसको छोड़ दो, क्योंकि अगर तुम वहां पे गलत लिखोगे तो वो लगे जाएगा एग्जामिनर को कि तुम उसको घुमा रहे हो। अगर कोई क्वेश्चन ऐसा आता है जिसमें तुम जनरलिस्टिक थिंकिंग दे सकते हो, जैसे तुमको मालूम है कि लीला दुबे एक फीमेल फेमिनिस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव का मतलब पर्सन है, तो तुम उसमें फेमिनिस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव दे सकते हो। उसमें सीड और कुछ एक कॉन्सेप्ट पूछा था, तो उसमें तुमको फेमिनिस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव देना था। तो अगर तुमको सिर्फ इतना भी मालूम है कि लीला दुबे एक फेमिनिस्ट पर्सपेक्टिव वाला पर्सन है, तो तुम उसमें फेमिनिज्म के बारे में लिख सकते हो। लेकिन अगर तुमको नहीं मालूम है कि लीला दुबे का पर्सपेक्टिव क्या है, वो फंक्शनलिस्ट है, मार्क्सिस्ट है, तो तुम उसमें खाली कुछ भी आंसर बना के नहीं लिख सकते। ठीक है, और जो क्वेश्चन ऐसे पिछले साल आए हैं तो पे ज्यादा फोकस ना करते हुए, जो क्वेश्चन रिपीट होते हैं, जो मतलब बेसिकली सिलेबस पार्ट में है, उन पे ज्यादा फोकस करो। क्योंकि मुझे याद है 2020 के टॉपर शुभम कुमार सर, तो उन्होंने बोला था कि उनके एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में शायद उन्होंने 2 क्वेश्चन छोड़ा था, तो वो 2 क्वेश्चन छोड़ने के बावजूद भी उनके 300 समथिंग मार्क्स आए थे। तो इट्स नॉट अबाउट कि हाउ मच यू आर स्कोरिंग, मतलब ऐसा मार्किंग नहीं होता है यूपीएससी में कि यार 20 मार्क क्वेश्चन है तो उसमें हम सिर्फ 7 या 8 से ज्यादा नहीं देंगे। मार्किंग फुल होती है और बाद में स्केल डाउन हो जाता है। ठीक है, इनफैक्ट मेरे पेपर 1 में आई रिमेम्बर एक डेटा और इसका क्वेश्चन था, इंफॉर्मेशन, और मैं इतना ज्यादा कंफ्यूज था कि मैंने डेटा और इन्फॉर्मेशन दोनों के उसको पर्सपेक्टिव को उल्टा कर दिया था। इन्फॉर्मेशन में डेटा लिख दिया था, डेटा में इन्फॉर्मेशन लिख दिया था, तो वो 10 मार्कर पूरा मेरा गलत था, लेकिन फिर भी मेरे को 147 आए। तो ऐसा नहीं होता है कि तुम जो तुमको आता है उसको अच्छे से मेंशन करके आओ, उसमें ये दिखाना है तुमको कि तुमको सब कुछ आता है उसमें, जितना तुमने पढ़ा है उसमें सारे पर्सपेक्टिव लाने की कोशिश करो, तो उससे तुम्हारा आंसर थोड़ा होलिस्टिक हो जाएगा। और जो क्वेश्चन पिछले साल ऐसे थोड़े से अटपटे से आए हैं उनको लीव करना ज़्यादा सही रहेगा, क्योंकि उसमें तुम ज़्यादा दिमाग लगाओगे वो टाइम कंज्यूम रहेगा। उससे बढ़िया तुम एक बार रिवाइज कर लोगे चीज़ों को।
ओके सर, ठीक है, थैंक यू।
Hello.
हेलो।
Hello, sir. 20 markers mein they give four sheets. So is it necessary to fill all of them?
नहीं, ये मेरे को पहले नहीं पता था। हाँ, I want to tell you all that in paper 1 in 20 marker they give 4 sheet, and in paper 2 for 20 marker they give 3 sheets. The reason is simple. If they are giving any theoretical perspective for paper 1, so you need to mention about criticism as well. Like suppose if they have given Durkheim's perspective on suicide, so first you need to mention about what he has said about suicide, and then you have to give criticism as well. All right. So that will cover your 4 pages. Try to give space, try to write properly, do not cram up the things. ठीक है, पास नहीं लिखना है, थोड़ा जगह बना के लिखना है। तो एग्जांपल के लिए शुभम कुमार सर की कॉपी एक बार चेक कर लेना, 2020 के जो टॉपर थे, तो उन्होंने थोड़ा सा दूर दूर करके लिखा है चीजों को, तो उससे पेपर मतलब 4th जो पेपर होता है उसके हाफ तक भर जाता है। और बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं जो 3 पेज ही भरते हैं। मेरे आसपास जितने बैठे थे उसमें से बहुत लोग ऐसे थे जिन्होंने 3 पेज ही भरे थे। और होता है, मतलब ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि तुमको सारे पेजेस भरने होते हैं।
Thank you, sir.
Hanji, anybody else wants to ask anything?
Can you hear me?
No?
I hope everybody is able to turn your mics on.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, okay, we have Srinidhi first. K. Srinidhi.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a doubt. Like, how are you managing time for 20 markers and 10 markers, sir?
Okay. For 20 markers, you need to write 300 words. All right. So just remember, you need to finish around 2 part, like first, that is necessary part. First and fifth are compulsory. All right. So first part should be completed. First and fifth part should be completed in about 1 hour, and rest 2 hours should be given for like 20 markers. The 3 questions that you need to attend. So first thing, just break your time, like you the 6 how many questions are asked, like all right, 5 parts that is asked in first and fifth, that needs to be completed in 1 hour. So you can like in half an hour your first question should be complete. All right. And in another half hour your one question, that 20 marker, should be complete. So just remember that if you are writing according to the word limit, your paper will be completed in 2 hour 45 minutes, 2 hour 50 minutes. All right. So just adhere to the word limit. Do not write anything extra. Just write the introduction, like definition. Write what is asked. If it is asking any theoretical perspective, write it and give the criticism, and that's it. Do not like for 20 markers, you can go up to 13 minutes to 14 minutes. For 10 markers, that is 7 minutes. All right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I am asking, sometimes what happens when you are writing a question and in between you realize that you don't have enough content. So what should be done with these questions? Usually we can choose, but sometimes it happens that even after one page, you feel that no, you will not be able to write this question. So should we cut it and try another one, or should just leave?
Okay. That's why I first said that choose those questions. Like if you are given the paper, you are given the paper 5 minutes early. So in those 5 minutes, do not try to frame answers, because the answers will be in your mind. Just try to choose the questions correctly. So that will give you a boost of 10 minutes in exam. All right. So if you have chosen some question that you think that you know, but you forget something, then no need to panic. Just uh, like suppose you have 20 marker and 10 marker. All right. So
Yes, sir.
you are confident about two questions, like 20 marks and 10 marks. That is 30 marks you are confident about, but suddenly you forgot about 20 marks. That one question you forgot. So no need to leave these questions. Just mention about whatever you know, all right, and try to write as much as possible, but do not leave that, okay? Because if you cut that 20 mark question, and your 30 marks will be at stake. मतलब अगर आपने सिर्फ वो 20 मार्क्स के लिए एक पूरे क्वेश्चन को काटा, तो जो बाकी के 30 मार्क्स के आपने अच्छे से अटेम्प्ट किया है, उसमें 30 अगर आ सकते थे आपके, तो वो पूरा कट जाएगा, ठीक है? तो वो मत गलती करिएगा। जैसे कि मेरे को याद है पिछले साल ये पार्सन्स वाला क्वेश्चन है, 7th में ही था शायद, तो उसमें नहीं, जीएच मीड वाला, तो उसमें मैं ये भूल गया कि जो इनिशियल स्टेज होता है, दैट इज इमिटेशन स्टेज, तो उस स्टेज पे उसका नाम भूल गया मैं, इमिटेशन स्टेज, तो मैंने वो सेंसर को आधा अधूरा लिखा, बट जो बाकी के दो थे वो मैंने ढंग से लिखे। तो ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए कि पूरा क्वेश्चन छोड़ दो। पहले आप वही करो, जब 5 मिनट मिलता है उसमें आप क्वेश्चन ढंग से चूज करो। पर मैंने कहा कि थियोरेटिकल पर्सपेक्टिव वाले चूज करो, क्योंकि वो आप पढ़ के जाते हो अच्छे से, रेदर देन अगर कोई जनरल स्टडीज टाइप का क्वेश्चन है तो उसको मत उठाओ, ठीक है? और बीच में मत छोड़ो, जितना हो सके उतना।
So another question, how much current affairs should we use in paper 1?
देखो, करंट अफेयर्स जो है सोशियोलॉजी में एक मिथ है, देयर इज नथिंग लाइक करंट अफेयर्स, ऑलराइट? जो आप विजन का ये जो भी मेन 365 है, जो भी आप करंट अफेयर्स का रेफर कर रहे हो, उसमें एक सोशल इश्यूज का एक वो आता है, मैगजीन आता है, जो भी आती है, उसके उसके जितने हो सकते हैं, जैसे ऑक्सफैम रिपोर्ट हो गया तो उसको पॉवर्टी में इंक्लूड कर दो, ठीक है? अगर जेंडर बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है, पिछले साल लिखा था कि गिव द थियोरेटिकल पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ जेंडर, तो उसमें आपको करंट अफेयर्स नहीं देना, उसमें थियोरेटिकल पर्सपेक्टिव पूछा, उसमें आपको टालकट पार्सन्स के बारे में लिखना है, जीपी मर्डॉक के बारे में लिखना है, एन ऑकले के बारे में लिखना है, मार्क्सियन पर्सपेक्टिव के बारे में लिखना है। तो वो उसमें अगर आपको लगता है कि कुछ ऐसा हुआ है जिसके वजह से जो मतलब न्यूज में है, तो उसको आप मेंशन कर दो, बट हमेशा ये याद रखना कि जो ये बोला जाता है कि करंट अफेयर्स कर लो, वो सब एक मिथ है। तो इसके लिए ज्यादा करंट अफेयर्स नहीं करना, जितना आपने उसमें करा है उसी को बस इसमें थोड़ा बहुत मेंशन कर देना।
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Hello, sir.
हाँ, हेलो।
Sir, regarding this previous year question practice, sir, how do you suggest to go about it? I mean, after the completion of chapter, we'll pick up the question, and shall we write a skeleton answer, or should we sit for like a 1 hour and complete the answer, sir? How do we go
No,
about
no.
it? Because almost like 70% of the paper is given.
Yes. So if you have not joined any test series, then I'll prefer you to write the paper like you are going to write in the question paper, like you are attempting a test series. All right. So do not make just skeletal answers. All right. So what happens is, agar if you are preparing skeletal answers, you will not be able to bring in more perspective. Once you start writing, then you start connecting the things. Like when I write sociological answers, so what I do is I try to bring in a perspective of every thinker. It is not necessary like that thinker that is mentioned in gender. Suppose you are preparing gender in uh, unit 5, I suppose, unit 5. So there are about 4 or 5 thinkers, but let's suppose you forget that in exam. So let's suppose you forget that okay, JP Murdoch has given perspective on gender. So what will you do? You need to bring the perspective, like what are functionalist perspective, what is Marxist perspective. So this will only come when you start writing. So please do not make skeletal answers. Start writing and then you will be sorted out. And one more thing I wanted to tell, please, like it is said that prepare unit 4 properly. In addition to it, prepare unit 5, that is stratification, unit 10, that is social change, and unit 7, that is politics, that related unit. So prepare these units very well, because they have thinkers that can be utilized in other unit as well. Like for example, stratification mein there is gender, so those thinkers can be used in unit 9 where family is there, right? So if it is asking question about patriarchy, you can mention unit 5 thinkers as well. So you need to you need to bring in perspective of other thinkers as well. No need to just remain in the box, and you need to think out of box.
Okay, are we done with the questions? Okay, that's good. ठीक है. So if you are done, then we'll finish the session. Thank you so much, Animesh, for this comprehensive
थैंक यू
session.
सर.
मेरा तो ऐसा होने लगा है कि अब मैं जिस ऑप्शनल का सेशन अटेंड कर लेता हूँ मुझे लगता है वही ले लेना चाहिए. तो you are successful in convincing me, in converting me.
कोई नहीं सर, बस एक यही चीज़ बोलना था कि सर मतलब कॉन्फिडेंस से जाओ, जितना पढ़ना है वो पढ़ चुके हो आप लोग, बस एक बार अच्छे से रिवाइज कर लो, आंसर्स लिखो रोज, क्योंकि मेरे को अभी भी मतलब आज सर ने क्वेश्चन दिए जो मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री के, तो मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री ऐसा है कि सबने पढ़ी हुई होगी, लेकिन जब लिखने बैठोगे तो सबको डर लगता है कि क्या लिखें, क्या क्या लिखना है. तो आंसर्स लिखो और चीज़ों को डिले मत करो यार, क्योंकि वैसे ही 20-22 दिन निकल गए हैं, तो अभी तक आपका पेपर 1 एटलीस्ट कंप्लीट हो जाना चाहिए था. तो आंसर्स लिखो, रोज आंसर्स लिखो, 3-4 लिखो, चाहे 4-5-6 लिखो, एक दूसरे से इवेलुएट करवा लो. टेस्ट सीरीज के लिए जाना जरूरी नहीं है, इस साल तो मैंने ज्वाइन भी नहीं किया क्योंकि बहुत महंगी है टेस्ट सीरीज. 20,000 तो पिछले साल ही थी शायद सिर्फ सोशियोलॉजी की टेस्ट सीरीज. तो अगर आप नहीं करना चाहते तो पीवाईक्यू अच्छे से लिखो. पीवाईक्यू के आंसर्स अवेलेबल हैं, एक वो बुक आती है, कोई क्रॉनिकल की बुक है, तो उसको अगर आप प्रेफर करना चाहो तो कर सकते हो, ऐसा कोई हार्ड एंड फास्ट रूल नहीं है. और बस कॉन्फिडेंस से जाओ, मेरे को पिछली बार किसने बोला था कि इतने कॉन्फिडेंस से जाओ कि बगल में अगर तुम्हारे 3-4 लोग हैं तो वो वैसे बाहर हो जाए तुमको देख के. तो उतने कॉन्फिडेंस से जाओ बस.
जिस तरीके का हमारे पास नंबर है बगल में आपस में बैठे होंगे लोग. But yeah, we get what you are saying. So
yes, तो
thank you so much, anyways. Thank you for being here. Thank you everybody for patiently listening. आपके जो भी डाउट्स over a period of time इकट्ठे होंगे, we'll arrange another session. और पेपर 2 के लिए भी we'll have a session soon. या तो एनिमेशन ले लेंगे या फिर we'll have somebody else. तो
okay, one more
जो भी
thing,
चीजें कही हैं फॉलो करिए.
I
हाँ,
want to
एनिमेश बोलिए
share
प्लीज.
my वो कोचिंग ये टेस्ट सीरीज कॉपीज. सो इफ समवन वांट्स टू रेफर कि कैसी चेकिंग वगैरह होती है तो आप देख सकते हो, मैं अभी सर को भेज दूंगा, तो आप लोग
Sure. That would be really helpful. चलिए वाइंड अप करते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच एवरीबॉडी.
ओके.
That was really
थैंक यू
helpful.
सर.
Animesh, thank you for taking out time. This means a lot to the community. The service means a lot to the community. People like you are why we are standing here and why we'll move forward. Thank you so much for joining in, everybody. Please take care. Have a great day.